How's it going, everybody? I'd like to welcome you to our open source EIGRP troubleshooting. If you have ever heard of the website called GNS3Vault, it's a really cool website. They make free CCNA, CCNP, and CCIE routing and switching labs. So realistically, let's come over here to labs, and they have all kinds of labs. Yeah, slide this up just a little bit for you. They have all kinds of labs. So, like for instance, you can do, and I've shown this site plenty of times in previous videos, but I just wanted to give you a recap as of what I use for some of my training. I have quite a few labs up here that you can just log into, start playing with, and start doing. So what I clicked on here was troubleshooting, and then that brings up, as soon as it loads here, just in a moment here. And then you come down here to troubleshooting, and then they have all these different types of troubleshooting you can do. And I just clicked on this one down here, where you click on EIGRP troubleshooting, and then it pulls up this guy. And this allows you, once you log in and you register, obviously with the website, and I'm logged in, and it allows you down here at the bottom to download the config, which is all I've done. I just downloaded this guy. And there's actually a YouTube solution, so I'm basically going to do the same video he's doing, except for I haven't watched this video. So this is going to be completely me trying to fix whatever he's broken. This is the topology, so you have 8 routers. You have 4 different autonomous systems. The idea is, up here they give you a little case study. You're a senior network engineer at a global company. You go on vacation, you come back, and everything went to crap. So your job is to figure out what people did wrong. Now the first 4 bullet points, are more just logistics of the lab. You know, what things are going on, the routers, EIGRP is pre-configured, things like that. The pre-configs come with it, so I just loaded those to the routers. This is all happening in GNS3, which anybody can get. So if you want to come here and try this lab out, if you run into a hiccup, I'm going to hopefully be able to fix this for you and go from there. So we're going to start from the top and work our way down. Now mind you, as we're going through here, it might work out to where I have to bounce around a little bit to figure out what's going on. So I haven't done this lab before. This is my very first time doing it, so if it looks like I'm stuck, I might literally be stuck, and I had to figure out why it's not working. So I'm going to incorporate this into the T-Shoot series as a freelance. It'll be in the section for troubleshooting. It won't actually be included in the series itself. So we're going to start off with the very top one here, which states, and I quote, actually let me scroll this down so you guys can see what's going on here. So as I'm explaining things, I'll be drawing it out up here in Paint, and then I'll be able to pull up the routers as I need to. So it says one of your colleagues created a frame relay connection for a new branch office. The branch office is using R3, and the frame relay switch configuration seems to be okay. No problems are reported between R1 and 2. Since the network engineer at the branch is out of town, you only have access to router 1 to solve the problem. So yeah, it looks like from here down, it's all built on top of each other. So we're gonna pull up R1, and we're gonna jump into here. Now I just loaded the config, so I actually haven't done anything here. Let me pan out here. First thing, a couple things I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a show IP interface brief, just to see what's going on, and everything's still shut down. Okay, so I have to go to config T interface serial 0/0 no shut, and interface fast 1/0 no shut. So let me pause the video and bring all the interfaces up, so then at least maybe some adjacencies will form, things like that. Alright, I've turned everything on the interfaces, so we should start getting some things going here. So we're going to jump on to R1, because that's the only place we have the option to troubleshoot this issue from. So we'll go out to R1 real quick, and well, now that's not good. So we have an issue with a k-value mismatch, which the EIGRP relationship will not form if there's a k-value mismatch. And this is the only thing that you can do, or one of only a couple things, actually, I should say. You can have a mismatch in the autonomous system number, and you can have like authentication. But pretty much everything else, the timers are negotiated and things like that. So what we have to do is jump out of here and then do, let's see, show IP interface brief. Which interface is that on? That is on my fast 1/0. So that's going to be on this side. So what I have to do is I have to, I'm going to go to global config for the moment and just turn that off. Interface fast 1/0 shut. And that'll at least turn those adjacency mismatches off. Because then what I'll do is I will just compare the devices. It'll actually tell me in a debug what the problem is, but I'll actually debug to the logging, to the buffer. I won't actually debug to the console. So that'll give you, troubleshooting wise, it'll give you a little more flexibility, so it won't potentially lock you out of your console. So it says frame relay is the issue right now. So let me scroll this down. Excuse me. R1 is the problem, and it's frame relay. So what I'm going to do is a show frame map command, and we have 123.2 and 123.3. So now just looking at the commands in the config, I'm seeing that we have a static configuration, and we have to router 2, we have a broadcast is enabled. Cisco is the LMI. It's been defined and it's active. So I'm going to do a let's see here, ping. Can we ping it? 192.168.123.2. Ping that. What about .3? Can we ping .3? Okay, we can ping .3. So, but here's the thing. Okay, to .3. Okay, so I know what the problem is. I noticed it right away. We're at the broadcast. In order for you to be able to form neighbor relationships across frame relay, sorry, couldn't think of the name, and to enable multicast and broadcast, you need to have the broadcast statement. You can configure EIGRP on a unicast basis, same thing with OSPF, but they have to be configured with either the neighbor statement with EIGRP or under the interface with OSPF. So we're going to go to global config mode under interface. Actually, hang on one second here. It's, well, it would be interface fast or serial 0/0. And we're going to type in frame relay map IP. Actually, you know what? I need to know what is the mapping. So it's saying, what is that? 103. Okay, map IP, and it's going to be 192.168.123.3 to, and the DELC number that we're going to attach it to is 103, and then we're going to include the broadcast keyword. So that's going to be the first one. And as soon as we do that, we should get an adjacency up. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. And it has not set yet. The queue count is still 1. So I'm going to do a show IP EIGRP topology. Who else do I know about? Oh, quite a bit. So .3 show IP EIGRP interfaces. Okay, so I have serial 00. I have 2 peers. Okay, so show IP EIGRP neighbors. Okay, now it's settled. So now we can do it. So everything looks good. We're going to do a first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a show IP EIGRP or show IP route, and see if it's in the routing table. And it is in the routing table. We can ping both of our neighbors, ping it, and we were able to do that previously, but I just want to make sure that that's the issue. It was a broadcast keyword was turned off, so that should have been the first thing that we would have seen, and it was. So it says the next one down here says after solving the problem between R1 and R3, some of the users on the 3 network are complaining that they are unable to connect to the server on 2's network. Okay, so over here. So there's a LAN segment behind 3, and they can't connect to the LAN segment behind 2. It's actually a loopback, but that doesn't make a difference. A loopback can act as a connected network or a LAN segment. You look at R1 and see the route in the routing table. You are unable to make changes at R2 or R3, but you are able to telnet to R2 from R1 and do a show IP route. The telnet branch password is branch 2. Okay, so let's do a telnet to 192.168.123.2, and the password is branch 2. Okay, enable no password set. Haha. Alright, well, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Go to R2, and I'm going to go to global config mode, and I'm going to say enable password is branch 2. Alright, so that'll save the config. We're going to minimize this again, and we're going to do the same thing. Enable is branch 2. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a show IP route, and let's see here. You are unable to make changes at R3 or R2 or R3, but you are able to telnet into R2 to use the show IP route command. So we have a connected interface. The 2 network is there. It's a loopback, obviously. So what I want to do is I want to be able to ping 3 from 2 and 2 from 3, because then that'll ensure that I have reachability. So I won't be able to do that. And you're like, well, why not? Well, because the fact of I don't have 3's IP or 3's network in here. It's not being learned via EIGRP. EIGRP is advertising the 1 network, which is a connected interface on router 1. So that would be the loopback here. I don't see the loopback or the interface here. Now, if I exit out of here and I go back to R1 and do a show IP EIGRP or show IP route, I see 1 and I see 2 and 3. Now, here's the one thing about this. I don't actually have to make any changes to the router or on R2. It's not R2's issue, actually. If we do a show run, and this is the only time I'm going to do that, at least at this point, show run interface serial 0/0. One thing you're going to notice is I don't have split horizon turned off. And you're like, well, split horizon. When you're dealing with frame relay in EIGRP, it runs it by default. So if R3 wants to send traffic to R2, he actually has to send to R1 first, and then R1 is going to replicate that information down to R2. Well, because of the fact that that's not the case, then I've got to go to R1 and type in interface 0/0/0, type in no IP split horizon, and then question mark, and then it's going to say EIGRP, and then what is the ASN number? 123. Drop down here. Oh, and you notice how they bounced, and they should split horizon changed, and show IP EIGRP neighbors, and they are good to go. So now we're going to telnet back to 192.168.123.2. We're going to type branch 2, enable branch 2, show IP route. See if that fixed it. And it did not. Okay, so it is not learning the route. Okay, so let's see here. It says you are unable to make changes at R3 or R2. Okay, so now since they don't have a way to get there, let's do a show frame map. Okay, so if he wants to get to .1, he's going to use 201 to get there. Now, the way that we could fix this a couple different ways. So technically, it says that you can't, you are unable to make changes. So basically, the way that I'm reading this, interpreting it, it says that we can only make, we can only do show commands at this location. We're not able to do any anything at this location, like to make changes, things like that. Well, here's the thing: if you don't have a way to get there, the only thing you're able to do from this aspect of it, especially when you're dealing with EIGRP, is you would have to put a way to tell it to get to where you want to go. So let's do a show IP protocols and see what he's advertising. Okay, so he's advertising the 123 network out there. So let's do a show run pipe section router EIGRP. I'm just curious what he typed in as a config. Okay, so he did put no auto summary in here. He put this in. So technically he should be advertising everything out. So one thing we could do is we could add a broadcast statement in to where it says if you want to get to .3, use me. So what that would look like is this. We type in interface 00/0, type in frame map IP, and we could say to get to 192.168.123.3, we're going to use 201, and we're going to broadcast that. Okay, so now what that would do is we're going to say show IP route. I don't think anything's going to change at this point. And it hasn't, because it hasn't learned it in yet. So, but here's the thing. R1, if we exit out of here and do a show IP route, we have the 3 network there. So he's learning it. He's just not forwarding it on. Makes me wonder if there isn't an access list preventing that. So we're going to do a show IP protocols here on R1. Ah, okay. Alright, so we do actually have an access list here, and this access list is saying we have an outgoing filter on router 1 set to 10. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a show IP, or show access list 10. Okay, so it's permitting everything. Is that a let's see here. Show run interface 00/0. Alright, so it's not there. Show IP. No, show. Let's see here. We want to do show run section router. Always do that. TUE. Router EIGRP. Did he use a distribute list? Yes, he did. He used a distribute list. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to remove that distribute list. We're going to go to router EIGRP 123 and type in no, and then we're going to say this. Even though it's permitting it, we're going to take it off. So then we can go back to R2 and telnet to, actually we don't have to telnet, type in telnet. We can do 192.168.123.2. It'll do it as well. Now EIGRP just changed, and branch 2 enable branch 2 show IP route, and there's the route. So we're going to go to global config interface 00/0, and we're going to take that network that statement off. We're going to type in no frame map IP 192.168.123.3 201 broadcast. Drop out of here. So we're going to do a show IP route again, and we should be able to ping 3.3.3.3. No. It's in our routing table. But it makes me wonder if it's in router 3's routing table. So we're going to do a quick debug. We're going to say debug IP route. IP routing. Or is it IP routing? Yes, IP routing. And then we're going to do... if you ever do a question mark and you see these access lists and you're not sure what these are for, this is actually just for if you wanted to do a debug and you've got, say, 3 different routing protocols running. So you got OSPF, EIGRP, and BGP. And you wanted to thin out the BGP and the OSPF routes. So you could actually configure an access list to deny those routing protocols. So you can deny IP protocol 88 and then anything that matches BGP, and then you could assign that to an access list and then a filter based on that access list. So we're going to debug IP routing. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the do the ping again and see what it tells us. It's not going to tell us anything. So we're going to do a no on the previous command, and we're going to do a debug IP ICMP, because that's a ping ping debug, and do this. I wonder what the we're telnetted in. Goofy. Yeah. So we're going to do terminal monitor first of all, and do that same thing again. Ping. It's not telling us anything. Okay. So my guess is either R3 doesn't have... let's just jump over to R3 and just take a peek real quick. I'm just curious. We're kind of breaking the rules here. We're going to do a show IP route. He does have the 2 network in here. Okay, so we can ping 2.2.2.2. Okay, so he doesn't have that in here. So, now, with that being said, just because it's in the routing table, let's see here, we can ping 1.1.1.1. We can ping that all day long. If we do a show frame map, aha! We're only knowing how to get there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that the same thing we did a few minutes ago. Full Horizon was able to get us the replication, but however, it's still not allowing. When it comes to, what's the best way to put it? When it comes to taking traffic from here and sending it to here, you have to tell R1 or you have to tell R3 in order to get there. What do I got to do? So when it gets here, he's going to know how to forward it. So we're going to go to interface serial 0/0. We're going to type in frame map IP 192.168.123.2. We're going to use 301 and we're going to broadcast that. Same thing with here. We're going to go to global config, type in interface 0/0. We're going to type in frame map IP 192.168.123.3. We're going to use 201 and we're going to broadcast it. So now what we should be able to do from both devices, we do a show IP IP route. They're there. Now I'm going to do a ping to 2.2.2.2. Okay, I'm getting successful pings now, and do the same thing here. And I can ping. So that's the idea. So trace route to 3.3.3.3. It hits 1, then it goes to 3. So we're successful with that. I think it's a typo in this lab, to be honest with you, because it would be other than putting a static route or something like that to, like, if you receive traffic to forward it out somewhere else. You can do a weird hack on policy routing to where it receive traffic in on an interface and send it out this way for this guy and this guy for that guy if it matched a route map. But you have to get very specific with your route maps and your access lists, and that's, to me, is a hassle. It's easier just to do it this way. So that is that. So It says, let's just one of the junior network engineers added R5 recently, so this guy, and so this device, and it's a network, but for some reason the neighbor adjacency with R1 and R5, so this guy right here, isn't working. R1 and R5 are working fine, however. See if you can solve the problem. So R1 and R5 aren't talking to each other. So what we've got to do, and I bet you that has something to do with that k-value mismatch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up R1. I'm going to go back to interface fast 1/0, or do show IP interface brief. Oh, sorry. Exit. Exit. Show IP interface brief. Yes, config T. Interface fast 1/0. No shut. Now what we're gonna watch is we're gonna see what the messages are, and it's saying from .5. So we have a mismatch with .5. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a show IP protocols to see what is configured. So we have bandwidth and delay by default here. So we're going to jump to R5 and pull up R5. We're going to do a show IP protocols protocol, and we have okay, so he's using K3 and 4 and 5. So he's using bandwidth delay and MTU, or he's not using that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to do a do show run pipe section router EIGRP. I want to see what he actually configured so I can take it out. So he used the metric weightings of this. So we're actually going to copy and paste this guy. We're going to do router EIGRP 145. We're going to type in no and this. And new adjacency, because the K values must match. Okay, so that is that. Exit out of here. And so that is it. So that was actually pretty easy. Somebody of the other routing team decided to redistribute between the RIP network on the 444 network. So what does it say? 4 here. We have redistribute between the RIP network and EIGRP on R4. When you look at R1, you don't see any entries though. You need to fix the problem on R4. Okay, so let's look over at R1 and see what's going on here. We're gonna do a show IP route. Well, let's see. We don't have any external routes. That's a sign right there. Anytime you see redistributed routes, you should see a D. Actually, you should see this right here. It should be a D and then EX for external. Let's go to R5 and see if he's learning anything. Do a end and do a show IP route real quick. Is he learning routes? No, he's not. It says, okay. Oh, we have an issue now. It says default routing table for 145 neighbor .1 is not on the common subnet for FAST00. Okay. So what we have to do now is show IP interface brief and see what what we're looking at as FAST00, and we have show IP interface brief. We have I see what the problem is. Different IP addresses. Anytime you see common subnet, that's going to be you're on 2 different subnets. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to global config, interface fast 0/0. We're going to type in IP address is going to be 172.16.145.5. 24-bit mask from the looks of it, and that should take care of that problem. We have to put it on the same common subnet as this guy. So that should take care of that issue. And we should get a neighbor. There it goes. Okay, so we have an adjacency. Holding time expired. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. Ooh, we have a queue. show IP EIGRP neighbors. Oh, we're cleared now. No, with 4, not with 5 though. So ping 172.16.145.1. Okay, I can ping it. I have a queue count though. I can ping it, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So we're gonna do a. Let's see here. It says, what was the error that I was getting? It said that holding time expired. So why is that? Why did it fail? So I don't have a queue. Actually, I'm not seeing router 5 at all. Okay. So show IP protocols. It's trying to form a relationship, but can't. So let's see what's going on here. I don't see any passive interfaces. Oh wait, hold on. Don't see any passive interfaces. K1, K3, that. So the metrics match. Show IP protocols. He's not doing any type of filtering that I can see. Same values, so that's all looking right. Let's see here, 58. So obviously there's some adjacency issues. So let's see what's going on here. Why is it not working? He can see 4 can 4C5. Let's try that one real quick. Oh, we have had an issue now for a while, where it's every minute. It looks like we have a show IP EIGRP neighbors. We have a queue count, or no, we don't have a queue count. But we're only peering with router 1. So on here, let me do a show IP EIGRP topology. So he's got that. So he's still getting a limit exceeded for router 1. Okay, so the router ID for AS123 is 11. So what's it here? Show if you have a if your router IDs are the same, you could have an adjacency issue too. Show EIGRP topology. So 44, 44, 44. So that's looking okay. What about here? Show IP EIGRP topology. Oh, well here's our problem. Well here's a problem. He's got the same topology information, so we have to actually change the router ID to something else. So config T router EIGRP what's this, 145? Yeah, 145 router ID, or EIGRP router ID is 55.55.5.55.55. So changing that should trigger an update. And let's see here. Let's do. Alright, now let's see. Show IP route. Okay, there it's the time. I'm still getting a time exceeded for router 1, but now I have adjacency up. Show IP route. Still not seeing anything. Okay. So let's see here. Show IP route. What's bugging me is there's still an adjacency issue between R1 and R5. I don't know why that's giving me that error. I've seen this before, so I know something's up. Something's not kosher between R1 and R5. Show IP. Actually, it's just I want to do a debug EIGRP packets, and which ones do I want to do? For now, let's just do hello, or let's just do all of them, because I'm just curious to see what's going on. Alright, so okay, so it received information from old info ignored. So from the looks of it, it looks like everything's okay. Oh, and it's updating. Why is it updating so often? Let's see here. It's updating a lot. Why is it updating? Let's see here. So show in there, it just hmm. Okay. Everything, it seems like it's trying to, but something is not letting it. So show IP EIGRP neighbors. We still have we don't even see router 5. So let's do this. You all, and do a show IP interface brief. So we're on the same subnet. We can ping each other, but retry limit exceeded. Okay, let's see here. Let's do a debug EIGRP packet here, just to see what's going on. I'm not sure if it's this device or something else. We fixed the K-value mismatch. I don't think it won't be a hello issue because of the fact of the hellos are negotiated. So I don't think it's that. Okay, so this isn't giving me the information I want. Show IP protocols. I want to know if there's anything being filtered. There is not being Redistribution 123 in. Okay, so 145. That's what I want to look at. I don't see any. I don't see anything being filtered. But let me do a show run section router EIGRP. I'm just curious to see if there's any. No auto summary here. Show run section router EIGRP. No auto summary here. Oh, well, I changed that. The thing looks right. Why are we bouncing? Let's just clear them. Clear IP EIGRP neighbors. Clear IP EIGRP neighbors. I want to just reconverge and see what's going on. Router 4 converged. But router 5 is not. Same LAN segment. Let's do a show interface fast 0/0, fast 1/0. Alright, so we got those guys up. Alright, so it's looking at MTU, that's not being affected by anything. What about our show interface fast 1/0? Not an MTU issue. Bandwidth is the same. Interesting. It's not a layer 1 issue. I can ping show IP interface brief, but we're getting a time limit exceeded. ping 172.16.145.5. Okay, I can ping it all day long. Let's ping 224.0.0.10. Okay, I'm getting responses from everybody except for router 5. Let's do the same thing. Ping 224.0.0.10. Router 4. Wait a minute. 58.8. Who's 58.8? Oh, I'm getting oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this completely wrong. Wait, hold on. No, I'm not looking at it wrong. We have an issue. This issue actually is affecting between router 5 and router 8. Is where this one is. It just hit me. This is where the problem is. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. I'm just showing router 4 though. I'm not showing router 5 as a neighbor. I don't know why. So let's. But right now, that's not what. It's router 5 isn't talking to router 8. Okay. So I'm still. Let's see here. Still having an issue between router 1 and router 5. So router 1 and router 5. So I can ping it and I can get a response. Let's see here. Show run. No, I want to do a show IP protocols. Is there? I keep coming back to this thinking that there's. Oh, I see right here. The network statement is wrong. So config T, we're gonna say, and why it's doing that is beyond me. Router, actually, it's not beyond me. Router EIGRP 145. Do show run a section router EIGRP, and I'm going to take that network statement out and put a new one in. So type in no, and this guy, and hit enter. I'm going to type in network 172.16.0.0 and hit enter. So there's the adjacency. Alright, so now we're good to go. It was show IP EIGRP neighbors. Now we've got router 1 and router 4, and now we have router 1 and router 4, or router 5 and router 4. Okay, so that's been fixed. So I got, not only did we have a what do you call it? K value mismatch, we also had a wrong subnet. So that's that. Now we're just going to go down to one more step here, and let's see, redistribute. Somebody of the other routing team decided to redistribute between RIP network and EIGRP on R4. When you look at R1, you don't see any entries though. Let's see here. Show IP route. Well, I don't see any external routes being redistributed. So, and it says you need to fix the problem on R4. So let's bring up R4. And we're going to do this. We're going to do a show IP protocols. We're redistributing RIP, but that's not what I wanted to do. But if you notice right here, when we're redistributing RIP, we're giving it RIP, but we're not actually doing anything with it, by the looks of it. So the RIP statements are the 44 network. So we're just advertising that. So let's go take a show run pipe section router EIGRP. Aha. We're not giving RIP any type of metrics. So config T. When we redistribute RIP, we have to give it let's see here. If we do router EIGRP 145, router 145. We have to type in redistribute rip. We have to give it a metric. And then we're just going to go 1500. What is it? 100. Let's see, 255. 1 and 1500. So now what we'll do is we will show IP route, and then we have the external route coming in. So that was our problem. We weren't actually giving it a metric to redistribute rip by. So now that's those issues. So actually let's minimize this and minimize this. So that's this issue right here. Actually no, right here. After you fix redistribution on R4, you can see the 4.4 network in the routing table 1. For some reason, you don't see it on R5. Solve the same problem. R5, show IP route. Well, by fixing that duplicate router ID, I bet you that did it. So we won't have to worry about that. So that'll be how we fix that. So that's good. So we can scratch this one off too. Next one we have is, let's see here, we have yesterday night, R6 crashed and was replaced by your overworked, stressed out colleague. There was no backup of the running config, so he created a new config. Users from the 4 network are complaining that they are unable to reach the 6 network. Your colleague is not here at the moment, so you need to fix the problem. Okay, so we're going to go to R6. R6 is right here. And we're going to do a show IP route. We're looking for the 4 network. Well, I'm sorry. The 6 network. Okay, so we need to go to R4. Bring up R4 again, R4. And we'll do a show IP route. And they're right, the 6 network is not coming through. So now one of the things I want to point out to you is we have a null 0 route. I don't know if you noticed that out of the gate like I did. But if we do a show IP protocols 467, let's see here, we have summarization going on here. So summarization is going on, so we're going to do a show run section router EIGRP. So we have, oh, there's our problem. Right there, receive only. Receive only means you're only going to send or receive information, you're not going to advertise any. So we're going to just change that up a little bit here. We're going to type in router EIGRP 467. I'm going to type in no, and we're going to just highlight this bad boy. Enter, and then type in EIGRP stub. So that will create the new adjacency. Peer information changed. R6. So it's, we're going to jump over here to R4. Do the show IP route command again, and there's the 6 network and a whole lot of other routes. So now from R4 we should be able to ping 6.6.6.6. And we can. So that is that. And let's see here, the 6 network is good to go. The network engineer from R7 has also experienced problems with R6 and got impatient. He made some changes to R7 to solve the problem, but now there's no connectivity at all with R6. He has no idea how to fix it, so you need to help him out. Okay, so R7, he made the changes on R7, so that's where we're going to go. And R7 is here. Oh, we never shut that interface, turn that interface up. So I thought I had. Interface fast 0/0, no shut. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a, so it says that there is no connectivity at all with R6. So show IP EIGRP neighbors. Show IP protocols. When you type that in and you get that, there's an issue. 467. What did he do? .476. Oh, 467. We have two different protocols here. Which one's right? Okay, so let's do a. I'm just redistributing 467, and is it redistributing 476? So why do we have two different? We should only have 467 here, not 476. So let's do a show run section router EIGRP. I'm just curious to see how he's got this configured. Oh, okay, so he's got it in the wrong one. That's all. So we're gonna do no router. Actually, let's type in router EIGRP 467, which is the correct one. Type in network 7.0.0.0 and network 192.168.67.0. And then what we're going to do is type in no router EIGRP 476. That'll turn that off. And then we come down here, show IP route. And I believe it was up here that we had that same problem. We did a show IP. What was it, right? Oh, okay, it was show IP neighbors. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. And now we have 67. And so that's that. So now we should be able to ping the 6.6.6.6 network. And we can. And that was right here. So that is that. And let's see here. One of the new, let's see here, tab down just a little bit here. It says one of the, a little farther up. One of the new trainees in the network team added a network command on R1 to advertise the 11 network. When you look at R2 and R3, you don't see this network in the routing table. You need to help them out. You are only able to make changes on R1. Okay. Back to R1. Thought we were all done with R1, but I guess not. So we see the 11.11.11 network there. Let's do a show IP protocols. Is he advertising it? He is not. So he needs to be advertising, but he is not advertising it. So let's see here. Now, if we notice, is there any filtering? We took the let's do a show access list real quick. I think there was some filtering going on previously, but there isn't now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what was the route that he wanted to have? So he never actually added the command. So show run section router EIGRP, unless he did add it, but he did not. So config t network or router EIGRP 123 network 192 or 11.11.11.11.0 and out. And now if we go to R2 just to do a show IP route, there's the 11 network, and we can probably ping it. Ping 11.11.11.11 dot what is the show IP interface brief? Yeah, 11. Okay, cool. You actually can go underneath the routing process and redistribute connected, and that would do the same thing. router EIGRP 123 instead of in redistribute connected, and then you can actually enter the metrics and stuff like that. But that would have actually redistributed everything that would be not directly. It would pretty much redistribute everything that's got an IP address attached to it. So this guy, but we didn't want to do that. So it's in the routing table of router 2 now, so that fixes that. It says some of the user, okay, that takes care of that. Let's just make sure on R3 that it's being replicated. Show IP route, and it is. It's being replicated. It's been there for 1.5 minutes now. It says some of the users are complaining in AS467 computers located in the 172.16.1 network are unable to communicate with the 172.16.2 network. You test if this is true by sending a ping from R6 towards the 172.16.1 network and using the loopback interface as a source and confirm problems. From R6, we're going to show, we're going to ping 172.16.1.1, and we're going to source it off of our loopback. Where did it say what loopback to source it off of? Loopback 1. Okay. Now we just got to figure out show IP EIGRP neighbors. Now we got to figure out who's advertising this network to us. It's either going to be show IP route. Is it even in the routing table? It is. Wait a minute, no. So we are advertising show IP interface brief. We're advertising the 2 network. We need to figure out who's advertising the 1 network. So let's see here. Show IP EIGRP topology. So no one's advertising that guy. So I wonder if R7 is he advertising it? Show IP interface brief 1.1. Okay, so it's R7 to R6. So show IP protocols. It's either he's filtering it or he's not advertising it. He's summarizing it. He's summarizing it. Okay. Let's see here. You won't be able to ping it if you go from the loopback because the fact of show IP route, in order to reach the 1 network, the other device has to have it in its routing table. If it doesn't have it in its routing table, it's not going to be able to reach it. So like for right now, we don't see the 2 network in here either. So if I was to try to ping 172.16.2.1 and source it off the loopback 1, it's not going to work because he doesn't have a route to it. Now if he had a default gateway, it says if you don't know how to, if the routing table doesn't have a match for it, send it to wherever, but that's not the case. So now we do a show IP protocols on R6. Let's actually do a show IP EIGRP topology, and it's in our routing table. It's there, show IP protocols. He is summarizing it. How fast he's in at 0/0, which if we do a show EIGRP interfaces, it's being sent out the right neighbor. So show IP protocols. He is not summarizing anything. Yes, he is. Oh, he's got auto summarization. Okay, so we're going to do show run section router EIGRP. Is he summarizing? He shouldn't be. No auto summary. Oh, connected summary. Oh, that's the problem. That is... Well, no, wait. I typed that command in. Didn't I? I typed it in when I did the no EIGRP stub. Receive only. I typed in stub. Connected in summary. Okay, so show IP... So run section router router EIGRP auto summary. He's summarizing. That's the problem. He's auto summarizing. So we'll take auto summarization off of both routers. Config T router EIGRP. I thought that was a problem when I saw this automatic summarization, and if you do a show IP protocols here, it says automatic summarization for this network. So that's what our problem is. Config T router EIGRP. Is it 467? 467. Type in no auto. Do the same thing here. 467 no auto. Because what ends up happening is anytime you summarize, it'll summarize it down to a subnet, and that's probably why it's not working. Show, no, it's on R6. Show IP route. We should have a one network in there, and we do. So now we should be able to ping 172.16.1.1 and source it off our loopback 1, and we get pings. Do the same thing that way. Ping 172.16.1.1, source it off of our loopback 1, we can ping. Show IP route, and there they are. So that was the problem. Okay, so now it's saying, excuse me, between R5 and R8 there should be an EIGRP neighbor adjacency, but something seems to be wrong. The security team has made some changes yesterday, but they claim everything went okay. Alright, so we're gonna minimize this guy and minimize this guy. So now we have a couple problems with... Oh, that wasn't good. Can I paste? Guess not. Anyway, it's okay. I still have this guy. So we'll just we'll make do. Bring this guy over, and we will, voila. So between R5 and R8 we have an issue with adjacencies. So we'll pull up R5 and pull up R8. Figure out why it's not working. So now we're going to do a show. Oh, how about that? The interface is shut down. Interface fast0/0. No shut. We'll see if that does anything to it. And nothing. So the interface didn't do a thing. Actually, that's not true. Show IP interface brief. It's already turned off. It was already turned on. Next thing we're going to do is show IP protocols. Alright, so we're using the default methods. Stub connected. Okay, and this is for the 8 network. So he redistributing EIGRP 58. Everything looks okay. Show IP protocol. He's using default methods. He's using default method. Oh, actually, down here. He's using default methods. 58. Let's see. Show run section router EIGRP. Let's compare the config. It says no auto summary. Let's see here. Auto summary. That's what the problem is right there. It says network auto summarization is not in effect. It says network summarization is in effect. So we're just going to go up here. Router EIGRP 58. No auto. That should take care of the problem. And so do show IP route. What about this guy? Show IP route. Show IP route. And nope, that's not doing it. Now, he is redistributing, but if we look here, we took no auto summary on, but we're not redistributing RIP. And it looks like he's running RIP as well. Am I seeing this right? EIGRP, router 8, show IP protocol, shop protocols, IP protocol. He's using RIP and EIGRP. So show run section router EIGRP. And we still have a time limit exceeded, which EIGRP. And I bet you it's because we're not redistributing. Oh, we are doing. Stub connected. There's our problem. So we're going to do a config T. We're going to type in a router EIGRP 58. And we're going to say no EIGRP stub connected. We're going to type in EIGRP stub. So that will allow us to see what's going on, and I hopefully do show IP EIGRP or IP route. Nope, that didn't do it either. Okay. Anyway, let's see here. Show access list. Ooh. Haha. Where is this access list configured? Show IP protocols. Doesn't say where it's placed. So what we have to do is show run pipe include. Actually, I'm gonna pipe section access group. So my guess is show run interface fast 0/0. There it is. Config T interface fast 0/0. No IP access. Just do this. Be a whole lot simpler. And to show IP route, there's the adjacency. And no, that didn't quite do it yet. And the up arrow again. We're redistributing RIP. What network are we advertising for RIP? 88 network. Okay, so let's see. And show IP route. Let's see. What do we see, or what don't we see? Is more. Okay, so we see ping 8.8.8.8, but we don't see the 88 network. So show run pipe section router RIP. Okay, no auto summary. That looks right. So, oh, we're not redistributing EIGRP. Config T router RIP. We have to redistribute EIGRP 58 and give it a metric of, we'll say 5. Show IP route. That still didn't do it. Why is this not working? Okay. Show IP protocols. Wait a minute. The 88 network. He's doing the 88 network. Interesting. Alright, so the access list has been taken off, at least for now. So we're not getting any hits on it, which is a good sign. But doesn't make sense why it's not showing up. Because it should show up as the 88 route, and it should be external. So I've got to figure out why this is not working. R8 has been configured to redistribute RIP into EIGRP. Okay, well, I jumped ahead a little bit. Okay, so it says, okay, we took care of this one. Let's go down. Between R5 and R8 there should be an EIGRP adjacency, but okay, that's what we were originally working on. I jumped ahead to the one below that, so that's my mistake. So show IP EIGRP neighbors, and I see that guy. What about this guy? Show IP EIGRP neighbors. I see that guy. So that's been done. We actually, there was a access list that was permitting or denying too much. So R8 has been configured to redistribute RIP. However, for some reason you don't see the 88 network when you redistribute it. You know what? I think it might be the stub command. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go router EIGRP 58, type in router EIGRP 58, type in no EIGRP stub. See if that does anything to it, and do show IP route. Nope, that didn't change a thing either. There it goes. It wasn't advertising the route. So, well, that's that. So it was the stub connected. So what we could actually do is we could we do a EIGRP stub. We have a few options. We can actually do average and we could do redistributed, and it should keep that route in there, and it is. So that was the problem. We were using the wrong stub feature. So I was using the default one, which if you do just a stub, it's going to do the connected and the summary. You can advertise other ones where it's only going to receive ones, but in this case, now we also could have configured a leak map to where it would have allowed us to allow dynamic prefixes, but That's more, well, that actually probably would be at the level. I know how to do it. But, and so the last one we had was AS145. So that's going to be this one right here. It are supposed to have access to a server located on the 88 network. Make sure the appropriate changes on R5 so this is possible. So let's go to R4 and R1. We're going to do a show IP route. We should have the 88 network in here. And we do not. Okay. Show IP route. Do not have the 88 network available. So why is that? Interesting. R5 has it, but R1 and 4 do not. So let's bring up R5. R5 has it. So let's do a show IP protocols. See if he's filtering anything. He shouldn't be. For 145. It does not look like he is doing that. So he's definitely forwarding traffic. Let's do a show access list. No access list configured. What about prefix lists? Show IP prefix lists. Nope, no prefix lists. And do a show run pipe section router EIGRP. Alright, so he definitely, it's not that. It's definitely not auto summarization. So show IP EIGRP neighbors. Show IP EIGRP topology. Alright, so what am I learning from my neighbors? This guy, 88 from this guy. Am I even learning it? Is it just not making it in the routing table? Show IP EIGRP topology. I'm not even being advertised it. Why is that? Let's do all links. Topology, all links. Not even being advertised when you do the all links thing, so it doesn't even see it. So why is that? 1111 1111. For the 145 network, she's a okay, hold on. Show IP EIGRP topology. The 555 network. 17245. That's okay though. He's taking routes in from this guy, but why is he not? So it's not that. So is there any access lists here? Show access lists I don't know about? Nope. And okay, that's just for 10, and that was just for over here. So why is it not letting me advertise this information to these guys? Oh, wait a minute. I bet you I know why. Because this is being learned from one EIGRP instance to another. So we're going to go to global config. We're type in router EIGRP 58, and we're going to type redistribute EIGRP 145, and then we're going to give it a metric of 1500 and 100 and 255, 1 and 1500. We're just going to copy this. I don't know what else I can do besides that. And then we're going to do router EIGRP 145. we're going to do redistribute EIGRP 58 and that, and then so that should be what we need. And there they are. There's our routes. So we're going down here to R8 and do a end and then do a show IP route. We should have a whole lot of routes, and we do. So that is what we were doing. So we needed to redistribute between AS145 and AS58 because we had 58 down here and 145 up here. They don't talk to each other because they're two different autonomous systems. So we had to redistribute between the two. So that is it. That successfully troubleshoots all of the issues here. My video is an hour and 20 minutes long, which is 20 minutes longer than his. Now, mind you, I had never done this before, so he's the one that wrote it, so he's the one that's going to know where all the issues are. So that takes care of that. So if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to help you out with anything. I hope this has been informative for you. I want to thank you for viewing.